Have you ever heard this president say one negative thing about white supremacists? Have you ever heard it?
I totally disavow the Ku Klux Klan. I totally disavow David Duke.
You wouldn't even condemn David Duke, for God's sake.
What do you see as the biggest problem with the Reform Party right now?
Well, you've got David Duke just joined, a bigot, a racist, a problem. I mean, this is not exactly the people you want in your party.
I got back in this race because of what happened in Charlottesville. People coming out of the woods carrying torches, their veins bulging, and a young woman gets killed resisting the hate and violence, and the president gets asked to comment on it. What's he say? He says they're very fine people on both sides.
And you had some very bad people in that group, but you also had people that were very fine people on both sides. And I'm not talking about the neo-Nazis and the white nationalists, because they should be condemned totally. They should be condemned totally.
In June of 2018, Alice Marie Johnson was released from prison after serving nearly 22 years.
I was once told that the only way I would ever be reunited with my family would be as a corpse. But by the grace of God and the compassion of President Donald John Trump, I stand before you tonight, and I assure you, I'm not a ghost. I am free. When President Trump heard about me, about the injustice of my story, he saw me as a person. He had compassion, and he acted.
Alice was given a life sentence, and you spent about 22 years, and for something that today a lot of people wouldn't even be going to jail for. It was horrible, and we found out about it. And we gave a commutation. That means we were able to get Alice out. And she has been just so outstanding, and I'm so proud of you. And we're giving Alice a full pardon. I just told her. We didn't even discuss it. We just, you were out there, I saw you in the audience last night. And I asked the folks if you could bring Alice over. We're going to give a full pardon. We're going to do it right now. That means you have been fully pardoned. That's the ultimate thing that can happen. That means you can do whatever you want in life, and just keep doing the great job you're doing. And here it is.
I know personally about his feelings towards Haiti and towards Central America, because when I was not a candidate for president and he wasn't a candidate for president, I went down there on a medical mission trip. I did about 200 cataract surgeries with a group of surgeons in Haiti and the same in Central America. And when we asked Donald J. Trump as a private citizen to support those trips, he was a large financial backer of both medical mission trips.
Well, I was watching the news, and it became a big story in the news, and I watched a man walk by this girl who was in serious distress like nothing was going on, and then I watched somebody else walk by like absolutely nothing was wrong or nothing was happening. And then I saw Darnell stop his bus loaded up with children and people and so beautifully walk over and so calmly and convince this woman who was in serious trouble to get off the bridge. I thought it was so beautiful to see. I think he's a great guy. I think he has an amazing heart. And I said that man should be rewarded.
So Donald Trump sent out this tweet saying, I'm going to send him $10,000. He deserves it.
I don't know if Darnell needs money. I hope he doesn't need money. But he should be rewarded for what he did. And frankly, I'm very honored to help him out.
In a split-second decision, Autry jumped to rescue a stranger who had fallen onto subway tracks, pinned him into a narrow gap between the rails as the train barreled over them with only inches to spare.
This is a brave man, so congratulations.
Donald Trump gave him $10,000.
Just to be part of my daughter's college.
I've had the honor and privilege to work with then candidate, now President Trump, and to observe him behind the scenes and have a number of personal conversations with him. And people ask me, why do I defend him so vociferously? And I say it's easy for me to do because I know him. And he's shown me his heart, and I know he has a heart for all Americans.
Tonight, President Trump unveiling opportunity zones, a new policy he says will build up communities in need by giving investors tax breaks to invest in low-income areas.
Our goal is to ensure that America's great new prosperity is broadly shared by all of our citizens.
And I will say this. This administration has taken a lot of people by surprise, and it's going to surprise you guys even more because this is probably the most proactive administration regarding urban America and the faith-based community in my lifetime. And I'll be 60 years old in December. But when I think back on, I use good hair dye. And I've got a great makeup artist. But to be honest, this is probably going to be and I'm going to say this at this table, the most pro-black president that we've had in our lifetime because, and I try to, analyze the people that I encounter. This president actually wants to prove something to our community, our faith-based community and our ethnic community. The last president didn't feel like he had to. He felt like he didn't have to prove. He got a pass. This president this administration is probably going to be more proactive regarding urban revitalization and prison reform than any president in your lifetime. If we work together, give them a chance, don't pay any attention to these guys back here. And I promise you, we will do something that this administration will continue to make history. It's going to be a lot of positive change. Great things are on the horizon, I promise you.
Jobs and investments are pouring into 9,000 previously neglected neighborhoods thanks to opportunity zones, a plan spearheaded by Senator Tim Scott as part of our great Republican tax cuts.
I do want to express thanks to you, Donald Trump, for being with us tonight. We need your building skills, your gusto, your rent package for the people on Wall Street who represent diversity. And we thank you for coming tonight. Let's give Donald Trump a big hand. In terms of reaching out and being inclusive, he's done that too. Aside from all of his style and his pizzazz, he's a serious person who's an effective builder of building for the builder of people. Last year, he was a part of our workshop to embrace the underserved communities. Donald Trump.
A large percentage of the people, and especially in construction, that are building these great jobs are black and minorities, and I'm very proud of it. We have close to 25%, and I think the number's going up, and they do a great job. There are no better builders than we have in New York, and a big percentage of that is black and minority folks. So I just want to thank everybody in the room for being here.
Are you willing tonight to condemn white supremacists and militia groups and to say that they need to stand down and not add to the violence in a number of these cities, as we saw in Kenosha and as we've seen in Portland?
Sure,
are you
I'm
prepared
to
specifically
do it?
Well, go ahead, sir.
I would say almost everything I see is from the left wing, not from the right wing.
So what are you saying?
I'm willing to do anything. I want to see peace.
Then do it, sir.
Say it. Do it. Say it. Do you want to call him? What do you want to call him? Give me a name. Give me a
white
name.
Supremacists and
right. Who would you like me to condemn?
White supremacists and right
Proud Boys. Stand back and stand by.
Are you willing tonight to condemn white supremacists and militia groups?
Racism is evil, including the KKK, neo-Nazis, white supremacists. Condemn the evil of anti-Semitism and hate. Our nation must condemn racism, bigotry, and white supremacy. There be no tolerance for anti-Semitism in America or for any form of religious or racial hatred or prejudice. We must never ignore the vile poison of anti-Semitism or those who spread its venomous creed. How many times do I have to reject? I've rejected David Duke. I've rejected the KKK, the Ku Klux Klan. From the time I'm 5 years old, I rejected them.
David Duke is saying to his supporters and followers, vote for Donald Trump. White supremacists are saying, do you want those votes?
No, I don't want them, and I don't want him to say it. I don't like any group of hate. Hate groups are not for me. David Duke endorsement? Okay. All right. I disavow, okay?
Let me be clear again. I condemn the KKK. I condemn all white supremacists.
Trump's campaign told CBS News this publication is repulsive and their views do not represent the tens of millions of Americans who are uniting behind our campaign.
I'm not looking.
Would you repudiate David Duke?
Sure. When we looked at it and looked at the question, I disavowed David Duke. So I disavowed David Duke all weekend long on Facebook, on Twitter, and obviously it's never enough.
I totally disavow the Ku Klux Klan. I totally disavow David Duke, Ku Klux Klan, which obviously I'm going to disavow.
Do you want white supremacists to vote for you?
No, I don't. Not at all. How many times do I have to reject? Love for America requires love for all of its people. When we open our hearts to patriotism, there is no room for prejudice, no place for bigotry, and no tolerance for hate.